Hi, I'm Matt from HockeyReviews.ca, and this is the Bauer Supreme Ultrasonic Stick Snapshot Review. Before that, thank you very much to Jess Hockey for sending me this stick to do a video on and to make this review. Check them out in the description, especially if you're in Canada. Shop with them, help me out as well. Link to their Instagram and to their store is in the description. If you're in the US, please check out the link to Pure Hockey. If you make a purchase through that link, I do get a kickback, so it helps support the channel, so I keep doing videos like this. Okay, so now on to the stick itself. So we have 3 sticks here. Ultrasonic, 3S Pro, and Supreme 2S Pro. So 2 of these are going away. There will be separate videos comparing the 3S Pro and the Ultrasonic, and then I guess comparing it to the 2S Pro as well. But for this, we're just focusing on the Ultrasonic, so we are getting rid of the other 2. So the Ultrasonic itself basically is the retail standard stick version of Supreme ADV from last year with that really cool taper that spreads out. It was called their Sonic taper. They had the whole Sonic boom thing going on. So this set, there's the Sonic taper right there. So Bauer's doing something different with the Supreme now. This thing shoots very different than the 3S Pro and the 2S Pro. This taper kind of changes things up a lot. Before, the Supreme was like a big slap shot stick. I had a horrible snapshot, I had a horrible wrist shot with it, but slap shots were unreal. So it took a lot of effort to load the stick. This is a totally different thing. When I shoot this, I'm shooting rockets on my normal shots, and I was really surprised by it and very impressed by it. Normally, I'm not a Supreme type player. I'm using this stick quite a while, I have a feeling, because this thing, pucks were just flying off of this blade. The thing that bugs me about this stick, as well as other sticks basically all out now, is they removed the textured grip on the stick. They had it still on the 2S Pro and it's totally gone. I'm disappointed by that. I really like textured grips. I feel like it gives you a little bit more feel of the stick, especially where your hand is. You can Bauer custom this to get it like really custom, to get a different grip on there, I believe, or you can do their custom sticks, but that's not on the retail one anymore, and it's slightly disappointing to me. I still love that it has the max blade. Huge fan of that. It is only on the P92, I believe, of these, which is slightly disappointing, but I'm still glad they're doing that. So this stick comes in at 406 grams, so it's not that light. And with that said, it's also shorter than the FT3 Pro, which I'll put the number up here. It's shorter than the FT3 Pro, which I think was 385 grams. And then when you cut it down to this one, it's 375. So this one is still lacking behind that. Comparison, the Supreme Advanced stick was 372 grams. So this is still heavier than that. It doesn't feel heavy at all. It feels fine. Balance on it is great. Like, you can still feel the blade. So like the balance point is probably right up about here. I can't really get that all in the picture, but it feels fine. You can still feel where the blade is all the time. It's not super blade light. The stick feels okay. Like, I had no issue shooting it, no issue stick handling. It felt solid. So it's not a big deal, but it would have been nice to see that go a little lower, especially when you see their ADV stuff. But I'm assuming this is more for durability issues that they didn't do that. The weave on this is way bigger than what was on the old Bauer sticks. My 2S Pro, as well as, well, even the 3S Pro. It's much more wider, like each individual piece is much wider. So it's something I noticed pretty quickly on it. So the blade on this stick, I love that it's the max height. Huge fan of that. It's only in the P92, I believe. I wish it was on more of them because I really love the max height and think it's super useful. The blade feeling on this, so the previous Supreme, I think, was one of the softest blades you could get. It had their, like, I can't remember what the core was called, but basically they would have like gel in it. And if a blade would crack, it would fill in the spaces to make the blade last longer. I don't think this is the same blade. I think this is called the fuel core. I can't remember exactly. But with that said, this blade feels pingier than the 2S Pro did. So this one feels closer to my FT2. I don't have an FT3 to compare, but this blade feels closer to the FT2 than it did to the old 2S Pro. Like, to me, I could just feel a little bit more pinginess in there. I never really felt the Supreme 2S Pro blade open up when shooting at all, so I never really had an issue with that. I didn't feel like the stick was really opening up on the actual blade itself, so it felt fine to me. The problem with me talking about that, though, is because I'm not on ice, I have a harder time talking about that because it's just me stick handling, shooting into empty net, not taking hard passes, and like not blocking shots, for example, or stopping hard rims, stuff like that. So I have a harder time talking about that, so I apologize, but I'm doing the best I can here with limited ice that I have. This stick is hideous. I get what Bauer's doing with the green. They're showing their ADV tech throughout all their sticks. I get it. I like this part. I like the taper, like the look of the taper part here. But the green and the gold, in my opinion, just look terrible. It's that chrome gold and chrome green. I don't mind the green at all. It's just when you put the two together, it's pretty rough. But I mean, it just looks, so it's not a huge issue there. It's just personal preference. The important part about this stick, though, shooting with this thing is really, really good. I'm coming off a FT3 Pro, which I think is one of the best shooting sticks on the market. This thing shoots in a different way. Again, I can't do slap shots in my basement, so I apologize. And I hope this is still a slap shot stick, but from what I heard, they moved the kick point down a bit to make it more of a snapshot and wrist shot stick, and it is absolutely that. My first round of shots, I'm going to say about 15, I flew everything way high and everything way right. I think I was just trying to shoot like I do with other sticks and what like I'm kind of used to. You do have to make adjustments in different sticks. With this one, I had to make a pretty substantial adjustment, and then once I got the feel of the stick down, I actually got the shooting down, it was phenomenal. Like really, really hard. Didn't have to have a huge wind up, and they were pretty accurate. I nailed a ton of pocket in a row, which I'm going to try to show here. Hopefully they were all actually in and not just hitting the sides. But it was like, this stick was awesome for that. And the more I use it, the more I got used to it, and it got better and better. The thing I found really amazing about this stick is compared to the old 2S Pro, which again, I struggled shooting. This thing, I didn't have to have a big wind up. I found if I did a really quick snap, where like no wind up, stick just on the ice and fire it, it would fly off the stick. Like, I'm going to say even better than the FT3 Pro in that sense. Whereas if it was more of a wind up and more of a, it was not quite as good. But again, this isn't really targeting the FT3 Pro. That would be the Nexus Geo, which is the FT3 Pro. So this is supposed to be one of those bigger, like heavier shot sticks. So it's closer to the Tacx. But I'm just going off of what just came out and I'm comparing it to that. But this, like, I shot better with this on quick shots, which is kind of counterintuitive to what it's supposed to be. But I'm not sure exactly what it was, but my technique or whatever like I was doing with my movement just worked perfectly for it. And puck was flying off the blade of it, and I was really, really impressed. Like I said before, with the 2S Pro, I had a ton of issues with my shots. The only thing that worked for me was slap shots. This was just working for me, and it was pretty impressive. I was pretty happy about it. Bauer has really adjusted this stick, in my opinion, to make it more usable, and that's impressive. This taper is like super unique, and I from what I remember on the ADV, the point of it was to stiffen up down here, and you can use less material because of the shape, because it's kind of like bowing out. So you can use less material, which makes it lighter, but it also stiffens it at the same time. I don't know, like it doesn't feel like the bottom of the stick is flexing. That might be why I was having problems shooting everything high right, because the top of the stick was flexing. If it was staying straight down here when the actual blade was like loaded, the top of the stick would flex and this might be open a bit. It's kind of like if you take a hard divot in golf and it opens up your blade. That could have been what was happening to me. I'm not sure. Once I got used to this though, and I could really leverage the actual kick of the stick, and it was just awesome shooting. I was very, 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 very impressed with this. I can't wait to get this thing on the ice because I want to take a couple slap shots with it and see how it is. Overall, I'm really impressed with this stick. It is $350, so it is a lot of money. I'm a little disappointed that they didn't manage to break the 400 barrier. With that said, I did get the max blade and not the smaller blade. So if I did go with the smaller one, it might remove some of that weight on there. But with what CCM's currently doing with their sticks at 385 grams for a longer stick than this, I was hoping Bauer would kind of be down there, but with Bauer, what Bauer did with his stick in terms of shooting, like I got to give him props regardless, because this thing shoots awesome. And I'm honestly not looking forward to playing against people who have these in terms of being a goalie, because if I can shoot that hard, I'm in trouble. I think that sums up my thoughts on the Supreme Ultrasonic stick. I will have videos comparing the Supreme Ultrasonic and the 2S Pro, seeing how they are very, very different. And then I'll also have a video comparing the 3S Pro to the Ultrasonic as well, because again, basically these two are more similar, and then this one's kind of its own beast now. So we'll kind of go through all of that. Thank you very much to Just Hockey for sending me this stick to do this video on. Check them out on Instagram in the link in the description, and their website in the description as well if you're in Canada. If you want a stick like or any gear, check them out, go through there, it helps me out. And if you're in the US, please check out Pure Hockey, link in the description. Using that link will get me a kickback so I can keep doing videos like this and make more content. So hopefully this video was really helpful. Thank you for watching. Check out these other videos. Take it easy.
You're watching HockeyReviews.ca.